Thank you very much, Toastmaster Pipat. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'll start today with a dear story, one close to my heart and mine. The Starfish Story. Once upon a time, on a beautiful Mexican beach, in a beautiful Mexican area, there was a foreigner walking on the beach, and he saw a native bending down to pick something up and throw it out into the ocean. And driven by curiosity, he went up to the native and he asked him, he said, "What are you doing?" And the native, he said, "Well, at high tide, it brings all of these starfish to the shore. And at low tide, the water goes away and these starfish are left on the ocean and they die. And so I'm saving them." And the foreigner, he looks up and down the beach and he imagines the hundreds of miles of beaches with all of the starfish. And he says, "How can you possibly make a difference? There are so many." And the native, he smiled and he bent down again. He picked up a starfish. He threw it out into the ocean. And he said, "It made a difference to that one." My starfish is education cup. And I think that teaching music, teaching English, teaching communication is one of my greatest passions in life. These days, we work very hard, and today in our university class, I was using music from YouTube Music to teach English in a very dynamic class that is very different from any English class offered at KMUT-NB. So much so that a few of them have joined me today to listen to the speech. You know, in Korea, it's the fastest growing city over the last 50 years. In the US, startup culture in Silicon Valley is now in its 4th generation of support, where they have special tax benefits, they have beautiful areas to build, they have support from all different kinds of systems to create and expand beautiful new ideas. One of my favorite quotes is by a psychologist named Jordan Peterson. And he said, "Everywhere you go, try to make something better. And somehow, in some way." And so it means, to me, teaching a student how to ask questions, teaching ideation in simple ideas like, here you go, you have $100 billion to improve Thai infrastructure, and here are 5 options, engineers. Show me what your ideas are, and then I help them build it. At MIT, you go to the laboratories, and all of the students are there, and the professors, they give them a project, or they let the students choose the project, and they work together collaboratively, and the professor does everything they can to make sure that the product is built. And so we exist in a world of loopholes and abilities, a world of limitless opportunities, exponential with the internet in a way that's never been before in human history. 85% of the human population is dead, and those great minds have really left us something. What is a loophole? What's it got to do with ability? A loophole is when you can create a way to help somebody from a nice little part of the budget. We exist in a world where there are so many giant budgets. And when you think about CSR events, where they buy lots of inventory for a school, and it's tracked and taxes are decreased and everything is nice and clean, what does it do for them? So you try to find a way to make sure that somebody can get help from these giant financial systems, and that's a loophole. I had a joke that I thought of, and it was, how do you talk to a giant? you use very big words. And so what that means is you use your abilities in communication to open and change and make opportunities for any kind of person, any walk or life. 1,000 years from now, people will look back and they will look for two things, Kev: authenticity and ability. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Paul, for your speech. Now let's move on. We have a second speaker today.